Hello, welcome to another Alpha Strike WePlay video. My name is Adam and I'm joined by Tarron.
Hey buddy, how we doing?
We are going to cover a lot, aren't we?
We're going to do a short, big one on like the rest, as far as I can tell, the rest of the missile launching systems. Because most of them are fairly simple improvements on things that are already existing.
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's swoosh it.
Swoosh it. Where should we start?
Well,
Missile
let's start at
launches,
the
of
top.
course.
But first, let's start with a bing. Bing! So your missile launchers, like I say, we've got a few different versions, but they're all basically just enhancements or improvements on current systems. And at the top there, you've got enhanced LRMs.
Okay.
That's it? Okay. No, these are inner sphere design, which I thought was a little odd. I would have assumed they were clan, but they figured out how to improve the arming technology on the missiles.
Yeah.
And so instead of a 6 minimum range on a standard LRM rack, you've got only a 3 minimum range.
Which is really good,
That's
actually.
really good. And I was just mentioning to Adam then, the minimum range really kills you if you get within a few hexes, because you count your minimum range back. So 654, once you're there, you may as well be at long range.
Yeah.
Because you've got the same modifiers. And even those couple there, you may as well be at medium range. You may as well be at this. It's only that 7 hexes away that you get that sweet spot. But this one is only a 3 minimum range. So that's 3, 2, 1, and then you're firing away. And that's really, really good. That's
very good.
PPC minimum range, and you can fire that at point blank and not be too fussed about it. I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it because it's LRMs. You want to fire them from 21 away if you can. But I wouldn't be upset about it.
So all the archer and catapult mech warriors out there are celebrating.
Yes, they
So
are.
give me some of them.
Heat, ammo, all that's the same, but they do way more and they do take up more space.
Yeah.
Quite a bit more too. I mean, 10 tons and 5 spaces for a standard LRM-20. And your enhanced LRM-20 is 12 tons and 9 spaces.
Okay.
So it's a lot more space and a smidge more weight. So worth thinking about though.
I guess if you put it on a heavier chassis, it's probably not so bad.
Not so bad. But if you try and squeeze one of them into a lighter mech, you're going to run out of tonnage and space fairly quickly.
But like you said, with the better minimum range, it does make that weapon more useful.
Especially to smaller mechs, because the bigger missile boats will be slowly advancing along and they'll have that time before they get to minimum range. With these, if you put them on something small and fast, it doesn't matter that you're moving rapidly towards the enemy because that minimum range is that much shorter.
Yeah.
You see, so it's a good thing. And some bright spark at the inner sphere also thought, you know what, these should go further.
I've always thought that.
I've always thought that.
Why let the clans have all the fun?
Yeah, I think it was Federated Commonwealth. Oh, there you go. I was going to say Draconis Combine, but it was Federated Commonwealth. They thought, you know what, we're sick of the clans hitting us from so far away. And we need some more space. So they hit heat problems and things, and they finally figured out a dual fire propulsion system. And you have an extended LRM. And let's look at the 20 again. Now, you're doing 12 points of heat.
Yeah.
All right, and that is not good.
No.
That's really not good.
A lot.
That is double what the standard LRM does. Okay? So this is probably a vehicle base. I would put this on vehicles before I put it on a mech.
Yeah.
All right? Because your vehicles just, you don't have to worry about it.
No.
Now, if you're reading ahead and you've had a look at the table, you see why I like these. You go with a 10 minimum range, which sucks. that really sucks. If they get close to you, you're dead. You're not going to be able to use these things.
No, that's
all
right.
But you can go all the way out to 38. 38 hexes of range. Your medium range stops at 22. And your short range at 12. So, I mean, medium range is further than long range for standard missiles. It's 1 hex further than standard missile long range. So you're doing the normal. You're doing the normal damage at the normal range, but you have a 2 less modifier to do that. If you look at it that way, and yeah, if you change your extend your LRM-20s for extended LRM-20s in a vehicle, I reckon that's worth it, especially out to 38. I mean, that's huge. That's like 4, 5, 6 map. If you're using the maps that come in the boxes, you're using like 3 or 4 of those. It's insane.
Kind of. Yeah. Well, they're 17 long, so you get at least.
That's 34. So it's
2 or 3.
It's 2 and a bit.
2 and a bit.
2 and a bit. You can be on the 3rd map and shoot someone on the 1st map.
So indirect fire and whatever could be useful.
You can indirect fire, but you can't use any of the funky ammos, and you can't use any of the funky electronics that help you with indirect fire. So you've got that standard list of spotter modifiers and things as well.
Well, considering the houses really do like having the combined arms set up, especially the Fed Sums, you know, they've always sort of been a fan of that. So having vehicles with these.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's great.
One trouble with them is they do weigh a lot more. They weigh a lot more. They don't take up as much space as the enhanced ones, which is kind of cool. But they weigh, well, your LRM-20 was, 10 and 5. This is 18 and 8.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a second there. That's 8 tons extra. You can get an LRM-15 on your mech or vehicle for that extra space and weight. Okay? So, but you can't shoot out to 38 with those.
No, that's right. That's a lot of range. That's really good. And that's a generous minimum range. So you've only got like a +2 for some really, really good range there. It is worth considering. There is another downside to them though. If you're shooting within your minimum range, which was a 10 or something,
10.
You have to use half rounded up, I think it was, for the cluster table.
Yeah.
Because of the locking on and all that sort of thing. So
your LRM-20 will become an LRM-10, or you'll roll on the 10.
On the 10, yeah. So you know, you'll still do a bit of damage, but it really does have a one purpose, and that's pretty much it.
So the LRM players, the long range players that are in the sphere out there will know that minimum range is crap. Okay, I think I've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
Towards the end of most games, you'll see LRM players counting out and trying to hit that 7 hex, like keep 7 hexes between them.
Yeah.
If you've got 10, that's just no way. It's hard trying to keep 7 hexes away from people. If you have to try and keep 11 hexes away so that you don't get a modifier of any type, then you are in serious trouble.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Once they get within the 12 or 15 hexes, I'd just turn around and bolt. There's no point. You just go. If you haven't got a backup weapon of any description, just leave.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to hit anything with those. I mean, if they get right next to you, you are adding 10 to your 2 hit. You can't hit anything.
No, don't even bother.
No. And that is what you do if you are against someone with LRMs. You get light, fast, reasonably armed units, and you shoot them as fast to the back as you can, and you take out the light armored and armed missile boats. And hopefully they haven't got a Saladin or something sitting around blowing people's legs off.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you're clever about it, you can set up your support line. So have all these LRM launchers and whatever else, and just have units that can support them. Yep. And have your front line. As long as that front line isn't breached, though, you're laughing. You've got a lot of damage.
And if you do some sort of scenario, so you've got, I don't know, like a wall. I was actually thinking about this before. Have like a wall, and you could set something up on the other side of the wall, or have multiple walls, and you have some way to try and keep them out of that 10 minimum range. These are gold.
Yeah.
These are really good.
Yeah.
But they weigh way more. So,
but still, that is a lot of range.
That's a lot of range.
Awesome. That is so awesome.
And like you say, that's two maps away, 2 maps and a bit away. And yeah, I don't care how fast you are, they're going to get at least a couple of shots in before you get to them.
Yeah.
So it is cool. It's really, really cool. But you have to think about the downside. And a 10 minimum range isn't cool. But
that's all right.
I reckon they're cool.
So we did another video earlier for rocket launchers. So they're essentially a one-shot missile, but you can basically make any missile, any sort of missile system into a one-shot. Yep. So it has one shot in it, so you don't have to allocate to ammunition bins and all that sort of thing. It just loaded up with a one, fire and forget and discard sort of thing. Yeah.
And it was basically because they were trying to save space and all that sort of stuff. It wasn't really as bad as for the periphery, where they really just didn't have any resources at all, and they just went, oh, well, we're just going to stick rockets in the thing and let them shoot off. Yeah. This was still trying to maintain all of the electronics and things that make the long range and short range and all those other types of missiles important. Yeah. And easy to use and effective.
And to not have that penalty. Yeah. Because there's a +1 penalty with your rocket launchers, but they don't have them on these.
So they can be loaded. It's a one shot. It's any missile system you like. They can be loaded with any type of missile that is available to that missile system. Yep. And you just add an extra half a ton onto the existing weight of the system. Yeah. Right. So you don't have to buy ammo or anything like that. You give it one round of ammo. You add an extra half a ton, and that's it. It's done. Yeah.
Okay. Popular choice was the SRMs with the Inferno.
Oh, Inferno.
And Streaks as well, but Inferno rounds, because they're useful against, well, just about everything.
Just about everything.
Tanks are really good. I think under the rules, if you hit a tank with those, they've got to roll an 8+ to survive, or they get wiped out or something. It's really brutal.
Because that Inferno gel gets in and kills the crew.
Yeah, because they're not sealed. Unless I think there are rules for sealing up tanks. You can get around or whatever.
Yeah, you can get environmental seals and stuff.
But infantry and things like that, they just that's really useful. But one shot. Sort of thing, so. But they did improve it though.
I never ever did that. I never used one. And they've got one now that's an improved one shot.
Yeah.
Yes. So the iOS launcher. So again, it can be any type of launcher, any type of missile that's available to that launcher, but they finally figured out that if they just shove the missiles into the tube, that will work as well. And so what you do is you actually end up taking half a ton off the weight of the missile system.
So that's better.
That's better. Yeah. It's still not good, but it's better. And again, they all still benefit from all the weird stuff. Everything that you can use with that normal missile launcher, you can use with the one shot. Yeah. And the improved one shot. Does all the funkies. Everything's groovy. And that's IS and Clan. Yeah. Which is cool. But again, even saving half a ton, I don't like the idea of one shot. Rockets, I get it. I wouldn't use them very much, but I get it. They're horrible. They're like seriously terrifying, but a one-shot LRM-20, oh no.
Yeah.
You've still wasted, 9.5 tons on that. Yeah. Where you could have gone with 3 rocket launcher 20s. I mean, technically you could fit 6 in there, but you see what I mean. Yeah. You could have fit at least a couple of them and some lasers or something in there if you were going to do it. So I don't know. Give it a crack if you like.
Maybe some people find it useful to put onto like industrial mechs. You know, if you're in the backwaters or whatever and you've got something, but you still have raiders, a bit of an issue, you can just whack one of those on as a bit of a deterrent. Yeah. And like you say, you could make a mine layer. So you could have LRM-20s with a single shot of Thunder rounds. Yeah. You could have a single SRM-6 with Inferno rounds.
etc., etc. I can see the applications. I don't think it's worth it.
No, considering the other options that are out there, it's probably there would be scenario based things or whatever. But
again, they build the mechs from the lore up, so they will be out there. If you see it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then the clans did something that I wish they'd done for us, and they made LRMs into a streak version, which
is rude.
It's cool.
Absolutely rude.
It's cool. Unfortunately, you can't use them as indirect. Okay, you can't indirect fire with them, which is a little upsetting, but it's still cool.
They don't do it. But it doesn't have. It's again like the clan launchers. They don't have the minimum range.
Yeah. So this is clan only. No minimum range. Standard range out to 21. Standard heat. All the other bollocks. It's all basically the same as far as I can tell. 6 heat. 6 heat. Yep.
Yeah.
So, same diff, all good, all groovy. You're looking at, the same as an Innisphere LRM 20. 10 tons of 5 spaces. Do you see why I hate them? Good lord. I mean, it's 600,000 C-bills, so... Whereas, I'm going to look at this.
There are some people who do actually play using C-bills instead of BattleTech.
Yeah, and you can.
As well.
You can definitely do that. Go for it if you feel inclined towards it. I'm going to look that up and find it out. But
still, streak. So every missile hitting.
Yeah.
That's just,
So it gives you the same. We covered streak SRM6s. SRMs. Streak SRMs. Stuff. You roll your 1 2-hit roll. If that 2-hit roll misses, you do not fire. If that 2-hit roll hits, you hit with all of the missiles in that rack. Yeah. And you just split it up as normal. Yeah,
so cluster table, 5-point groups. But yeah, if you don't get a hit, you don't get a lock, there's no heat and there's no ammo on those.
And that is why the mercenary in me wants them.
Nah. One day.
Except you can't indirect fire them and they don't use any of the weird ammos. It's basically streak tech.
Yeah.
None of the streak missile launchers use weird ammo, and they can't usually use any of the funky electronics. But it's still, I mean, you put your Mad Dog or a Mad Cat on a hill with streak launchers. Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
Yeah.
It's rude.
Yeah. It would be worth, even from a clan's perspective, to pay the extra tonnage and slots to get something like that. Because you want to maximize your damage output. That's what it's all about. So.
And that's what you're doing, is you are absolutely maximizing the damage output of that weapon. And you are, even if they're behind cover and losing some to heats, you're not losing any initially to that cluster roll table.
It's so good.
It's really, really good. And again, they're only spending the same amount of space as a standard Innisphere LRM launcher. They are, what have we got? Weight of 5 and 4. Yeah, so they've doubled the tonnage and added 1 extra space. So clan players aren't going to be happy with that. I mean, you've got half as many systems as you normally would do. You've doubled the weight. You're not happy, but you're happy.
Yeah, you're happy, but you're not happy.
Because you don't have to use quite as much ammo, really. I mean, theoretically, you're loading with missile launchers. You're loading your ammo so that you assume you are going to miss with at least some of them, and you assume you are going to roll badly on the cluster on the cluster table at least a few times.
Yeah.
Right. So you always want to take, with high level missiles, you want to take at least a couple of tons of ammo, because you get that extra, what would you call it, redundancy, I suppose, of having the ability to miss with a few or screw up a few rolls and have it not matter. You can still keep shooting. With the streak, it's 20 every time.
Yeah.
So you can consider dropping a ton of ammo to put extra heat sinks in, or put another weapon system in, or something like that. Correct. You see? So it'd be up and down, but I reckon it'd be worth it. But then I'm used to 10 tons and 5 spaces, so...
That's it. Go with what you know.
That's it. Go where it is.
Yeah, those are some interesting weapons, though, for sure. the extended LRMs though. That's incredible. That range is just 38. That's
ridiculous.
Really, I mean, that's because the clans have such long range on the majority of their weapons. They're so superior. The inner sphere needs something. That's your has its drawbacks, but wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and that in a stand-up fight, that can net you a if not a win, then at least a withdrawal in one piece. If you can soften them up at the beginning.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And that's 38 hex away, you can start shooting at people.
Yeah.
And if you've loaded up with some decent tonnages of ammo, and like I say, put it in a vehicle, because that's twice the heat of a normal LRM-20. So I reckon vehicles would be the way to go.
Ideal for that.
And it's huge amounts of weight. So a nice big 100-ton vehicle with half a dozen of them on it, and just...
where its reverse goes faster than its forward, something like that. Put a turret on and turn it the other way.
You have it permanently facing backwards to shoot. So it's shooting that way, but it's facing this way.
Yep, that's the way to go.
All good. I like it.
Right. Well, there you go. I think that's enough for one video. I think it's really info to take in and whatever. It's quite good.
All good.
Right.
Alrighty.
If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and sharing it around. Build the community for the game. I think it's been going quite well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been very good.
Hi to all the commenters.
Yeah. And thanks to all of you who have been subscribers.
600 and something people have subscribed. Gee whiz.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. Okay.
Dear.
Thank you.
All
See
right.
you next time.
Bye, guys.